Technology. Good evening. Thank you so much for being here tonight. It's been a wonderful setting. I hope you've enjoyed a tour through the hall. My name is Jim Hewson. I'm the chair of the board at the BC Hockey Hall of Fame, and I'm your host for this evening because I work incredibly inexpensively. It is so good to have so many of you from around the province here to celebrate the BC Hockey Hall of Fame induction class of 2023. Last night, thanks to the Okanagan Hockey Group and the Western Hockey League, we had an informal get-together at the Red Rooster Winery, and it was a warm-up, boy, and it was warm, as you know. This evening, we will officially induct 2 players, a team, a builder, and an official. It will bring our Hall of Fame induction total to right around 130 players, teams, builders, and officials that celebrate the history of the game in the province. So let's start the evening with a look at the video screens at some of those who've made their way from the ice to our hall. So some of the people that are in in that video are here tonight, and it's awesome to have so many inducted Hall of Famers here tonight, and I don't want to miss anybody, but I might. I tried to run into everybody in the building tonight, but I would like to acknowledge some of our Hall of Famers that are here tonight. We have our Hall of Fame directors. Some of them sit on our board of directors, including Scott Niedermeyer, Bob Nicholson, Nancy Wilson, Bill Enos, Bruce Hamilton. They sit on our board, and they're all here tonight. Thank you for being here. One of the greatest Canucks ever, Stan Smeel, is with us tonight. Prince George finest, Darcy Rhoda. Darcy, great to have you here again. Two great Canuck defensemen, number 27, Harold Sneps, and John Grisdale are here. They'd be a great pair, but tonight I might be able to get by them. Goaltender Kirk McLean. If we need an equipment manager, Hall of Famer Pat O'Neill is here tonight. Couple of refs for our game if we had one tonight. Bob Hall, Rob Schick are Hall of Famers and with us tonight. To produce the show, if we wanted to put it on television, we have Oliver's John Shannon, who's a Hall of Famer with us tonight. One of the great original inductees, Larry Lund, had to phone in sick, couldn't make it tonight, but he's worth acknowledging. One of the members of the Penticton V's that is in this Hall of Fame, Ivan McClellan, has joined us tonight. Ivan, it's wonderful to have you here. Great to see builder Cam Kerr, an inductee who's here. And Glenn Anderson. You know Glenn, he's here tonight. As a former teammate with Ronnie Paterson, and great to see him. I hope I didn't miss any of our Hall of Famers that are here tonight, but it's terrific to have those who are inducted into this hall here. You know, 3 years ago, we wouldn't have been able to host the event the way we did it tonight. For one thing, there was that nasty pandemic that we finally got rid of. But also, in this hall, when the building was developed in 2008, I believe, and the cabinets went in, and the British Columbia Hockey Hall of Fame was all part of what was built here. We had 250 cabinets, but a few years ago, we had 100 of them that were dark and empty. We made a decision as a board of directors that we needed to build the hall, that if we filled the cases and built the hall, everything else that we did would follow suit, and the hall would be the star of the show. So I hope you've seen tonight, as you've wandered around and seen some of the new cases and seen all of the sweaters and seen all the things that have been put into our hall, that in our community, while we are a provincial Hall of Fame, this is a real jewel. And it is really our pleasure to show it to you, and that's why our event has now become an event that is in the hall so that we can honor those who have been inducted. And none of it would happen without the participation from our friends in the Penticton business world. While we are a provincial not-for-profit Hall of Fame, we're in Penticton. And it's really important for us to involve the people who are in our community. So first, I'd like to salute our executive director, Pat Lawyer, who's been the curator of the hall that you see out there. But he's also been the one who's engaged the community to bring the hall to life. We've had such wonderful cooperation from people like Agave Homes, from Grizzly Construction, from Canadian Tire, from Three Sisters Winery, and there's more. Vancouver Canucks and the Vancouver Canucks alumni have stepped up to become real partners for us here. You know, there are now over 30 Canuck personnel in our hall and in our province. That's as it should be. So, great example of how the business community involvement in our hall has evolved came last winter. When the hall was first just an idea and came into existence, Thanks to another Hall of Famer who's here tonight, Scott Carter, and his family, and some like-minded individuals, this building wasn't here. The first Hall of Fame cases were over at the old Memorial Arena. So we made a decision to incorporate those initial 80 cabinets that constituted the British Columbia Hockey Hall of Fame into our existing hall. But it couldn't have happened without Wildwood Construction, who stepped up and moved all of those cabinets over here. Betts Electric brought them to life with power. And so that breezeway that you see between the rink and the convention center is now full of wonderful cabinets where we can once again celebrate the history of the game in our province. And I would say now we've got over 300 brilliant cabinets in our hall that is a tribute like you won't see in many other places. Outside of the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto, there's not many places on the planet that have a little hall like ours. So I hope you enjoyed it. We've enjoyed building it. And so tonight, we move to the induction class of 2023. We have an official who wanted to be a goaltender who wanted his kids to be officials, a team that made good on a second chance, and two pillars of defense who played 1,000 National Hockey League games side by side. There are currently 50 active NHL players from British Columbia. But you know, it wasn't always that way. I remember in the 80s and into the early and mid 90s, there were just a few players from British Columbia. And they were good. I mean, there was Joe Sakic, there was Paul Correa, Ray Ferraro, Cliffy, the Cardinals, Doug Bodger. But on any given night, when I was broadcasting games, there might not be a BC guy in the lineup. And as a very proud British Columbian, I love to identify those from our province. That's why, particularly on a Saturday night, I loved identifying the linesmen in the game, because it would often be in Vancouver, and it would be Brad Lazarowich and Lonnie Cameron. Robbie Schick might be the ref. He's from Port Alberni. Kelly Sutherland from Richmond might end up being referee. There was Jay Scherers, who was from Hope. But usually, on a Saturday night in Vancouver, it was a good game. It was Laser and Lonnie on the lines. It was just as dependable as Seabrook and Keith on D. So tonight, it's a real pleasure to welcome our first inductee of the evening. Lonnie Cameron is now a member of the BC Hockey Hall of Fame. Retired NHL official Lonnie Cameron's journey to the NHL didn't start out any differently than the players. He was a minor hockey weekend goaltender in the Juan de Fuca Minor Hockey Association in his hometown of Colwood on Vancouver Island. Cameron, like just about everyone else in hockey, wanted to pursue the dream of being a player first. So he ventured to the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League and the Estevan Bruins, but after a couple of years decided to head home to university. But he didn't leave the game, just traded the pads for stripes. Lonnie was recruited by the Western Hockey League and spent 9 years working the lines and went to 2 Memorial Cup final games and the 1994 Winter Olympics in Lillehammer. He was hired by the NHL in 1996, and for the next 15 years worked the lines in 1,554 regular season and 60 playoff games, and made another trip to the Olympics in 2014 in Sochi. Cameron's first NHL game was in 1996. As close as you can get in the NHL to his hometown, it was in Vancouver. And his last game was full circle, back in the same building in April of 2019. Linesman Lonnie Cameron is inducted into the BC Hockey Hall of Fame
in the officials category.
As halls of fame, we live in the past. That's just the way it works. It's what we do. But tonight, in a bit of a switch, as we honor those who have long been part of the game, we'd like to look to the future as well. And so the presenters that you'll meet this evening, and the presenters for Lonnie Cameron and his plaque to welcome him into the British Columbia Hockey Hall of Fame, will be his sons. Braden and Logan Cameron, welcome your dad to the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Fuzzy, what's the over-under on the tears? Where are we at? 2 minutes, 15 seconds. If I shut up, the over is going to go. But anyways, I don't know if you guys understand how humbling it is when you get a phone call from Jimmy. I've ridden home many times after he's worked games and he's heading to White Rock, and we chit-chat. And I left the game in 2019, the NHL train. April 2nd was my last game, and the train just keeps going. You hop off, you say goodbye, and it's humbling when Jim phones me in February and mentions and lets me know that I'm being inducted into the BC Hockey Hall of Fame. You don't start out in hockey with a goal of saying, hey, Mom and Dad, I want to be in the Hockey Hall of Fame one day. You just want to be a good hockey player. And you guys, if you know my story, I love Ken Dryden. And he was my idol. He got me into the pads and tended net for 14 years and took me to the SJ, and but never in my wildest dreams would I think about sitting here tonight and doing that. So I'm very humbled and I'm very honored. As an official growing up in BC, the journey started, audience participation right now. Show of hands, Wandafuka Minor Hockey. How many of you guys know where Wandafuka Minor Hockey is? Show of hands. Can't really see. Hello, yes, thank you. Wandafuka Minor Hockey gave me my start. My first referee in chief was a guy named Gordy Burr, and I was 12 years old. I enjoyed it. I was also playing at the time, and I essentially idolized Ken Dryden, but at the same time I also watched the officials and understanding the game and whatnot. And there's one thing that when you're a tender, when you're standing back there, you can get a pretty good grasp on how the game is being played and kind of what everything is that transpires with that. So that was an asset, and BC hockey was awesome to me. Lyle Belfour, referee-in-chief, Billy Ennis is here, ran into Billy. Like, it's so good to see people. And all growing up through, coming up through the 80s and the 90s and whatnot. It was super special for me to be a part of BC hockey. there's a bunch of guys here tonight that know that even though one of the jerseys in my case is my Western Hockey League. It's on the bottom, and it's the one with the Cameron on it, and it's my Western Hockey League jersey. And I have to tell you guys that as an official, our name was everything. Like Huey would be calling our name out on TV. But when I signed with the NHL, Gary Bettman took away our names. We just became numbers. And that was due to a labor dispute. But our names were always something that meant everything to us. Because we had some really horseshit officials that looked like me, and I am like, thank God my name is Cameron, not somebody else. But that jersey in my case with Cameron on it is my Western Hockey League jersey. The jersey on the right-hand side says got a BC Amateur Shield from 79-80. I don't think I could squeeze into that thing anymore, but I got to tell you that was like pretty much ground zero for me. And then, of course, I wore 74 in the league for 23 years. And I laced them up for 1,554 of those games. I never missed a game. Knock on wood, I was healthy. And actually, believe it or not, Dunk and CB really helped me out a lot, I gotta tell you. Because when you got those two guys chirping you on the blue line for 2 periods a game, they know what an offside and icing is like, okay, so that was a big help. But I'm not gonna get into the purse swinging there, CB or Dunk, don't worry about that. But the cool thing about coming up through the branch is that I wore the branch on my sleeve. I wear everybody else on the sleeve. I had a small gathering of the guys here tonight, my friends, deepest friends, that yes, it's Lonnie Cameron's name on this ticket, but it took Brent Frizzell, it took Fotis Alexio, it took Steve McNamee, the list goes on, of guys, Alf Horton. I cherish the friendships and the relationships that this craft developed, because without that, I just think of the miles we put in the Western Hockey League. 9 years in the Western Hockey League, from 87 to 96, and it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Seattle, Portland, Tri-Cities. 3 games, 3 nights, in cars, with guys that were living the dream, breathing it, wanted to be in the National Hockey League. My name got drawn in July of 1996. Before that, though, I amassed a trip to China to do an Asia Oceania Junior Championship, and then in 1994, for me, my biggest accolade as an amateur was to work the Olympics in Lillehammer, Norway. The resounding sound of that tournament that resonates in my head is coming back from our first game. Kevin Minch is here tonight, Director of Officiating Western Hockey League. Kevin, myself, and Pierre Tremblay. We walked back to the hotel after work in France, USA. Peter Laviolette, D-man on USA, now in the National Hockey League, but there was a different time and a different era. But we walked in, and just so you know, not many cell phones, walked back to the hotel, telegram in the cubby right behind the hotel front desk, and it was from Murray Costello. And opened it up. Lonnie, congratulations. 30,000 officials from Canada are cheering for you. I was at the pinnacle of our group, but I was representing our group in a way that it wasn't me, it was the guys. And it will always be about those guys. I can't speak to that because the grind that we put in was so monumental that the day that the phone call came, you put all your eggs in one basket to work the National Hockey League. It was like sitting in a dark room, honest to God, and the light switch popped on. And I was 31 years old. And it was very cool. I had made it. It was something that I worked so hard to get to, and so it didn't seem like it was a possibility some nights. And you keep, when you never got hired, it's like a player, you don't get drafted. You got to go reload. There's always a next year, there's another off season. And I got to that point at 27 when the word on the street was, if you're not hired in the NHL by 27, give it up. And I kept reloading. I worked the 92 Memorial Cup final, and Scotty Niedermayer, if he's here, he made the best pass of his life, but he made the best decision of his life to take an extra step to get over the blue line because it was a 2-line pass. Hit Zach Boyer tape to tape going across the blue line. Boom, it's in the net. 34 seconds later, the game's over. And we're going home 4-3 against Sault Ste. Marie. But that game there was another step for 95. Still no phone call. The phone call came and I was ready, and just like when Jimmy phoned me, that same phone call, I was humbled. It is something that is super special to me. I spent 23 years. The NHL to me stood for no home life, and it's tough. It's a grind. As an official in the NHL, we don't have 41 home games like Duncan and Brent do. I have one game a month in Vancouver that I would drive downtown. Everything else was on a plane, and it was long haul. 120,000 miles in the air to do 75 games. It was months in hotels. And, but two magical highlights. September the 5th, 2000, Braden showed up on this journey, and April the 8th, 2002, Logan showed up on this journey. And I have two amazing sons that I'm so proud of. That as a dad, all they knew was that I wore suits. In those early days, I wore suits. I rolled away with a wheelie bag, and I was on TV. And it was like, oh, hey, Dad, I saw the game. But that was the grind, and that was the ounce of sacrifice that you put in. And it is that difficult. And these two guys are amazing young guys. I missed a lot of their life, and I know that they have such a bright future in front of them that I can't speak to anything but just being a dad who is super proud of his sons. For sure. Logan's got the good flow, just so you know, that's a good salad right there too. Family is everything, friends are more so. And I have a wonderful family. I'm obviously blessed with my two sons, but I have two other wonderful kids in my life, in Aiden, Roy, and Elise. And they have such bright futures in front of them. And Aiden, Wheezy, you guys are amazing. Aiden wants to pursue policing, and Elise is going into 12th grade, and everything is in front of you, Wheeze, to, if it's marine biology, if it's something what you want, go get it. And your mom and me are behind you guys 100% step of the way. Natasha, you are an amazing lady, and I can't say anything more to you than how much I love you from the bottom of my heart. The most coolest thing, you guys, for me tonight on the topic of family is that last week I turned, I know, 59, pretty hard like this, right? 59 years old. But my dad 2 days ago turned 89, and my mom in May turned 80, and they're here tonight. And they're everything that you could ever want in parents. My dad was 37 years in the federal government. He's a ship's engineer, so he traveled. My mom was everything to us. I was 21 years old when she was born, and by the time she was 25, my brother Sean was 2, and my brother Mike was a newborn, and I was 4. And Mom was judge, jury, and executioner, and she was pretty good with a wooden spoon, let me tell you. There's a few, you can start a pretty good bonfire with some of the broken wooden spoons on cracking on our rear ends, Mom? You know? But my mom and dad were there for us boys, and they gave us everything that we could ever imagine that you could do and on a single income. Dad, you're my hero, and I know that you have a hard time hearing, but I hope you can hear me, because I'm so proud that you're here to be able to take this in. And Mom, you know that you were the mainstay of that household for me, Sean, and Mike, and that I will always cherish in my heart forever. You guys are everything. I couldn't be more proud of parents than I am of you guys. Finally, I'll get going here, but I know that BC Amateur, I started in BC Amateur, I moved to the Western Hockey League, I got hired by the NHL. And I know that the Hall is, you know, sometimes they think that greatness can be defined in being like a National Hockey League official. I never worked the finals, okay? Inside our team of 68 full-time NHL officials, we had a internal fight for that ice time too. We all wanted to work the finals. I got close, but I never got selected. Did it define me? No, never defined me. It will never define me that I never succeeded to be on the ice when the Stanley Cup was being hoisted. What I do define myself as is, what does define me, is the fact that when I was 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, I'm like a father figure out there. And the relationships that with Duncan and with Brent and with the players, I was that liaison between Kelly Sutherland's here tonight, good friend, Robbie Schick. I skated with Robbie. As a linesman, you interject yourself into the play and into the fray, and you can deflect, and you just build relationships. What defines me as an official is the friendships that were born along the way in this game, and I have a million friendships. I don't have a cup or a trophy on my mantle that gets dusty, but I have 1,000 friends that forever pick up and call, and they're here tonight. And I thank you guys. I'm humbled, I'm honored, and appreciative of this selection and nomination. Thank you.
Come on up front here and get your picture took.
Okay. Want the plaque? I got the over.
Thank you, guys. Braden and Logan, thank you. Congratulations, Lonnie. So, how about this for another father-son combo? Chad Brownlee is from Kelowna, played junior hockey in Vernon, and was a draft pick of the Vancouver Canucks as a defenseman, which links him to all of the lineage we have here at the Hall. And his dad, Al Brownlee, who's also here tonight, was the best umpire in the history of the Kelowna Men's Fastball League and acclaimed internationally as well. You don't have to be a Vancouver draft pick to perform here, but in lieu of the signing bonus he missed out on when his shoulders let him down, we're happy that the second career has been a beauty. Please welcome Chad Brownlee.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Jim. That was a great intro. It's an absolute honor to be here tonight. I was a draft pick of Vancouver, but never played any NHL games. So it seems my music gets me into these events more than my hockey resume. Unless there's a BC Hockey Hall of Fame for mediocrity, then I'd probably make that one. All right. Oh, we got a listening crowd. Love it. So I've been on tour this summer. Just finished Calgary Stampede last weekend, which is always a blast. Full band, bunch of drunk, 3,000 people. These are more nerve-wracking than those shows. I'm going to start off with a song I released a few years after retiring from the game. And this is one of those songs that helped put me on the map as a country artist. This is called Love Me or Leave Me. And if you know it, please sing along. Don't be shy. Some days we're as good as it gets. Some days all the pieces fit. Sometimes there's a fire in your kiss. Some days your name's from goodbye when you get that look in your eye and you just want a reason to quit. Somebody hurt you, baby. Don't make me pay the price. It's black or white, day or night. Yes or no, I'll make it easy. Love me or leave me. Come on, I don't care who he was. This is us. If you really want me, I'll make it easy. Love me or leave me. Love me or leave me. I don't wanna be all the way in. You're gonna be halfway out. I want your everything now. 'Cause I'm gonna be all that you need. Ain't nobody gonna love you like me. I ain't gonna let you down. You've got a choice to make. It's black or white, day or night. Yes or no, I'll make it easy. Love me or leave me. Come on, I don't care who he was. This is us. If you really want me, I'll make it easy. Love me or leave me. care who he was. This is us. You really want me, baby, it's easy. Love me or leave me. 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 Thank you very much. So I've got one more song in this set. I've got 2 songs in 2 sets tonight. And again, thank you, Jim, for inviting me out here for this special evening. And he actually requested this next song, which is a very, very special song. To me, it's a song I wrote for my dad, Al, who is here tonight. And what did you say? He was the best international softball umpire of all time. He's gonna remember that for a very long time. We might have to get a plaque with that on there. But I wrote this around the same time as Love Me or Leave Me, the one you just heard. And it was just me and another writer, Michael Farron, down in Nashville. And my dad's really just a big kid at the end of the day. And you know, that's what inspired this next song. This song is called Leave Here Dying Young, and I hope to be that way too, you know. At the end of the line, still have that youthfulness inside me. So this goes out to my dad and to all those other parents out there that still have that youthfulness in them, and you know, just make the most of every day. This is Leave Here Dying Young. Yeah, he's the youngest man I know at 75. A little slower than he used to be, but there's fire in those eyes. He's got a few more wrinkles on his face, that gray hair's finally found its place. But when he smiles, you can see that kid inside. So this is what it means to be alive. He'll dance like no one's watching and laugh until he cries. He holds on tight and loves without regret. Takes the good and leaves the rest. When all is said and done, he's gonna leave here dying young. There ain't one of us who'll ever know what tomorrow brings. It sure gets here fast, and in a lightning flash, it could change most anything. Sure, you learn to let it roll, 'cause it's all gone before you know. Don't let the sunset glow. Find you a better soul. And remember what it means to be alive. You gotta dance like no one's watching, laugh until you cry. Hold on tight and love without regret. Take the good and leave the rest. And when all is said and done, you can live here dying young. You only get time's always counting down. And what you do with this life's always up to you. So remember what it means to be alive. You gotta dance like no one's watching. Just laugh until you cry. Hold on tight and love without regret. Take the good and leave the rest. And when all is said and done, you can leave here dying young. I'm gonna leave here dying young. Thank you guys so much. Congrats to Lonnie. I'll be back in a little bit. Over to you, Jim.
Chad Brownlee, everyone. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Chad will be back in a little bit. So, this is an exceptionally cool part of the evening for me. All of the inductees are, but this one strikes a little closer to home. Because I've never known anyone who knows everybody. That's until I forged a friendship with Ronnie Paterson. So, as you can tell, I'm kind of buff. I'm in a gym in Puerto Vallarta last winter. Guy recognizes me and says hi, and the first thing that he asks me is, "Do you know Ronnie Paterson?" It happens everywhere. I am of the opinion that you could walk down the street of Mumbai, population 23 million, and somebody will come up and say, "Do you know Ronnie Paterson?" Everybody knows Ronnie. He knows everyone. Unfortunately, he can't remember anyone's name anymore, but he does know everyone. And I feel like you could fill a rink. You really could fill a rink with all the people that Ronnie has touched in hockey. I met Ronnie when I was an aspiring broadcaster working in Kelowna, and he was an intern at Molson before he bought the company. He hasn't changed. Affectionately nicknamed Five Hole. I think that nickname, when I first started, it came from Jim Robson and Mickey McDowell. Hard to imagine in this day of 6'5" goaltenders that he was in that fraternity. I don't know if you saw his case up there, but the pads are about this tall. Great builders of the game of hockey don't build the game as much as they build people. That's Five Hole. That's Ronnie. You all know him, but we had to do the video anyway. So here's a snippet of who our man Five Hole is.
Ronnie Paterson is a hockey lifer, highly successful outside of the game, but at heart, always connected to hockey. Paterson grew up in Richmond and thanks to his mother, had a chance to play minor hockey as a goaltender, an opportunity that led him to the UBC Thunderbirds program where he was an All-Star and an All-Canadian with thoughts of becoming a teacher. It's at UBC where he crossed paths with Father David Bauer, the legendary Canadian hockey great who founded, coached, and mentored Canadian national teams. Bauer took Ronnie with him to Calgary on the men's national team where he joined players like Randy Gregg, Jim Neal, and Glenn Anderson on a barnstorming team that eventually represented Canada at the 1980 Winter Olympics in Lake Placid, New York. After that, there was really no life after hockey because Ronnie's life always included it. Paterson began coaching minor hockey in his 20s, and many of the players he first influenced are here tonight. While maintaining a high-profile public job with Molson Breweries, Paterson didn't leave the game for a moment. He coached, he managed, and he owned. eventually being part of his hometown Richmond Sockeyes, then the Surrey Eagles, where he became chair of the British Columbia Hockey League's board. His latest passion, beyond parenting and grandparenting, is the Pacific Junior League's White Rock Whalers, a venture he and wife Kathy pursued to allow local kids to play a high level of junior hockey and stay at home. In the spirit of Father Bauer, a builder of the game, but mostly of the people in it, Ronnie Paterson enters the BC Hockey Hall of Fame in the Builders category.
When you get to know the Patersons, you get to know that they come as a package. Kathy's always there, so are Troy and Ty. So, to present the plaque inducting Ronnie Paterson into the BC Hockey Hall of Fame, here's the whole package, the Patersons.
I'm glad to see Lonnie shops at Big and Tall also. Thank you. To say the least, I'm humbled and honored. Very fortunate to know many of the celebrated members of the Hockey Hall, and I'm profoundly proud to be considered in the same category with those who have made a difference in our game, including, I may add, this year's fellow inductees: Brent, Duncan, Lonnie, Ron Torgo's 2007 Giants, all storied careers and experiences. A sincere congratulations to you. It was a hallmark moment for me personally to learn I was entering the BC Hockey Hall of Fame with such a distinguished group. Between the four of us, we have 6 Stanley Cups. Lonnie and I would have set a new standard if Glennie Anderson was being inducted this year. The game of hockey has meant everything to me and my family, and what I learned was hockey opened life doors. Regardless of when you played, how you coached, or where you managed. And subsequently, the BC Hockey Hall of Fame has now opened a door to hockey eternity that I will be forever grateful. Hockey is special, and it's incumbent upon ourselves to foster the game that has given so much to so many of us. The game has changed, but in many ways has stayed the same. Yeah, there's Instagram and TikTok, Twitter and Facebook, but the fabric of our game remains the character of people. The friendship, the culture, the camaraderie, the compete, the memories, the engagement, the respect, the trust. Quite simply, it is a fraternity that defines richness. As I stand here, I do not stand alone. Mentors who had an indelible influence on my life, my immediate family. I would be remiss if I did not reference specifically my mother and grandmother, who fundamentally taught our community all about sacrifice. And then there's my trusted advisor, Father David Bauer, who taught me the foundation of conviction and loyalty. They all played an integral role in my personal development, and I am indebted. In reflection, a watershed moment may have been when I became a little weird and started playing goal. In 1966, a gentleman by the name of Eddie Burke convinced my mother and a seasoned 10-year-old goaltenders made more money. The skills and lessons I developed from playing the position were life-altering, as my conviction for the game emerged early in my life and, quite frankly, never, ever wavered. Regardless whether it was playing road hockey all day long in our quaint little Bridgeport community, enduring 5 a.m. practices, becoming a student athlete, living in an Atco trailer representing our country, having a cold Molson beer with the UBC alumni, deferring my paper route to my sister so Ernie Mathers could pick me up, hauling around goaltending equipment that weighed more than I did, embracing international hockey travel, playing on championship teams throughout minor hockey and junior A in the community. My mother was a pioneer. Working our beloved prep camp, or simply watching the development of people I proudly coached. It all represents the foundation of my hockey journey. Special thanks to my good friend Jimmy Hewson and members of the selection committee for even remotely considering me. A dutiful appreciation to Pat Lawyer for his dedication to the Hall. To my family, my beautiful wife Kathy, Troy, Liz, Ty, and our newest family members to the hockey fraternity, Miles and Lenny, for their love, support, and understanding of my passion for the greatest game in the world. It is difficult to find the words to thank family, the litany of friends, colleagues, former teammates, and this remarkable fraternity for supporting me this weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, somebody once told me, focus on technique, but let the spirit prevail. Thank you sincerely for sharing this very, very special hockey moment. Thank you.
Well done, pal. Fantastic. Congratulations, Ronnie. So you know when you're up in the concourse area here, this building in the wintertime and, well, even in the summertime when it's really hot here, is a walking track. And there's a group of people that come in here every day and do laps. And they go round and round and round. And they watched for a couple of years as Pat Lawyer, in his curator job, built all of these cabinets. And they would stop and they would make comments about, whoa, that looks nice, Pat. This one's a good one. That's a good one. Well, nice. Well done there. Many of them are now volunteers and helping us out. So just to take a second and say thank you to the walkers and to many of you volunteers who have stuck with us and helped us out tonight. You're a great help. So when Ron Toigo and Sultan Tierra and their group brought the Western Hockey League back to Vancouver, I know there were some doubts. I was in Vancouver at the time. Across Canada, junior teams in NHL cities hadn't been particularly successful since the days of the Marlies and the Junior Canadians. It was more of a small city approach that suited the Western League. There was a thought that there'd be more people hanging out in the white spot than there would be at the Giants game. Not true. The Giants included Pat Quinn and Gordie Howe in their ownership group. They connected with the community and found their sweet spot at a time when the Canucks were actually pretty good. The West Coast Express was around. It was the early 2000s. They were a really good team, but the Giants in their building found a spot and had great support. And you could really feel something special was coming. By 2006, they were a 47-win team, got to a Memorial Cup semifinal. Then as hosts for the 2007 Memorial Cup, they took over the hockey stage on the West Coast. To narrate their accomplishment and introduce the Giants with us tonight, here's the play-by-play voice of the Giants in '07, Joey Kenward.
The road to the Memorial Cup for the Vancouver Giants is one hockey fans in BC won't soon forget. In 2006, the Giants won their first ever WHL title and made their first ever trip to a national championship. Led by head coach Don Hay, the Giants followed that up in 2007 by winning their second straight BC Division title, collecting 100 points for the second year in a row. Despite losing a heartbreaking league final in a memorable 7-game series with the Medicine Hat Tigers, the Giants still had their sights set on capturing the national crown as they hosted the tournament at the Pacific Coliseum. Vancouver went 2-1 in the round-robin portion of the tournament and qualified for the championship in style, as in the semifinal against Plymouth, 14 different skaters hit the score sheet as the Giants cruised to a big 8-1 win. The stage was then set for an all-WHL final, and it would be the 9th time the Giants and Tigers faced each other that month. Mario Bliznak opened the scoring in the second period, but the game would be tied 1-1 heading to the third. With little more than 5 minutes left, Michael Revick scored on a wraparound to give Vancouver the lead. And a short time later, Spencer Mahachuk sealed the deal with an empty netter, and in front of more than 16,000 fans, the Giants poured off the bench to celebrate a 3-1 win.
Enjoy, Vancouver! Your Giants are about to win the Memorial Cup!
Milan Lucic was named MVP, and Don Hay won his third Memorial Cup as head coach, the most of any bench loss in CHL history. Over 121,000 fans took in the tournament at the Pacific Coliseum and witnessed one of the most memorable hockey tournaments in BC history.
And now the 2007 Vancouver Giants are inducted into the British Columbia Hockey Hall of Fame in the team category. And in continuing with our theme tonight of the past, honoring that, and the future, I'd like to welcome Jason Ripplinger, who was the chief scout of the Giants at the time, and his children, Ariana, Collins, and Kinley, who will make the presentation tonight to the Vancouver Giants who are in attendance. And we'll invite the Giants to come down, and Joey Kenward will identify those who are in attendance this evening. Congratulations.
I thought we'd play the edited version of that song. This is the song the team celebrated to after victories. Well, that's okay. And they were jumping around a lot in 2007. It's great to be back in Penticton. Thanks to everybody at the BC Hockey Hall of Fame. Congratulations to all our inductees as well. As you can see, we've got quite the crew here. We'll have some words from some special people in a moment, but I'm just going to go down the line to introduce. Come on up, guys. There's lots of room to be able up to on the stage here. Just down the line, just hold your applause if you can, please. We had a number of individuals that couldn't be with us tonight, obviously, for various reasons, but we're fortunate to have a great crew of personnel that were both on and off the ice. So I'm just going to turn around here so I can see everybody. You saw Jason Ripplinger. He was the head scout for the club at the time. Next to him is forward J.D. Watt. Who's next to him? Nolan Toigo, forward as well. Milan Lucic is here. Garrett Hunt is standing in front of Milan. Behind is Brendan Mickelson. Then we've got Brent Regner, a couple of defensemen, along with fellow blue liner Brett Festerling. Forward Mitch Zubair. Assistant coach Sean Crowther. Defenseman Cody Franson. The general manager of the Giants at the time is Scott Bonner. We've got a couple of his scouts here as well. Denny McKinnon, who's from Trail. Rick Allen is from Cranbrook. Co-owner Sultan Tierra. Trainer of the team at that time, Corey Cameron. And the majority owner of your 2007 Memorial Cup champions, Ron Toigo. Jim?
Thank you, Joey, but we can't go any further with this and have anybody speak before we go back to 2007 and the start of the final game against the Medicine Hat Tigers. We need to together enjoy the shift.
And in that game, you had to credit Medicine Hat for the game it played, too. I don't think enough credit went that way for the job Willie Desjardins did. Huge hit involving Matt Lowry and Milan Lucic. Lucic, the big forward. Rabbit with Repic. Deflects off the defender. Excellent diving play coming back by Trevor Glass. Oh, here we go, folks. Benfeld said, I've had enough of you, Lucic. He's been running around. He banked 3 bodies on that shift, and Benfeld, the lance of the bell here, much the way you saw throughout the WHL final. Milan Lucic throwing that 6'3", 220-pound frame all over the ice. Well, Peter, I tell you what, not a bad decision by Benfield. Not necessarily to get into a fight, but I think even though the crowd's pumped up right now, he really took a lot of pressure off because of the way Vancouver was starting to run around.
That's the shift. Milan, come on up. And he's still going strong. And he's going back to the Boston Bruins, and that must be exciting. But when you watch that video now, Milan, what comes to mind?
Just the energy and the emotion in the building. You know, Joey said it was one of the best hockey tournaments in BC. Just to see the Pacific Coliseum like that day, it was pretty awesome. So to watch it again, probably for the 100th time, I do go on YouTube and watch it to pump myself up before games. But no, to watch it again in front of you guys here in this great event, it's a pretty special thing.
And what about your team that year? What comes to mind when you think of the 07 Giants?
You know, we were a team. You know, I heard our captain today, Brett, he did an interview and he said, you know, we were a team. We didn't have one guy that was a point-a-game guy. You know, we were a team that did it by committee. So we counted on everyone. Everyone did their part. And, you know, we all love each other. That's why we're all here today. And, yeah, it's just so great to be a part of such a special team like that.
Special to have you here, too. Thank you for taking the time to join us.
Thank you.
And good luck back in Boston. Ladies and gentlemen, Ron Toigo.
Yeah, thanks, Jim, and thanks, Jim and the committee for this honor for the group. It is really a real great honor and appreciated by everybody here. Pat, lawyer, the job you've done here, the effort, the time that you guys put into this thing is the entire hockey community of British Columbia should be very grateful for the time and effort you guys put into this. Winning is really hard, and everybody in this audience knows that. And at the Western Hockey League, we try to create an environment where you have the best development league in the world. We try to get the best coaches. We try to make sure our facilities are the best it can be. We have an education program, a scholarship program, where every player that plays in the league, if they don't make it as a pro, they have that to fall back on and get a degree. And so you create this environment to attract the best players in the world. And then our staff, headed by Scott Bonner and Ripper and the scouting staff, were able to identify these players and put this group together. And it was an amazing group. We had an amazing run for about 5 years. The 25 players on this roster, 15 of them played in the NHL. And another 5 went on to pro careers, and the other 5 used their scholarship and went on to work well in the business community. But at the end of the day, they all develop skill sets that carry them for the rest of their life. They learn how to deal with people, and they all become great additions to communities wherever they end up. So I'm thrilled, I'm honored to be with these guys again. It was a great run for the city, and to win it at home with original partners Gordie Howe and Pat Quinn in front of a home crowd, it was a night and a day that none of us will ever forget. I also want to congratulate the other inductees, Lonnie and Duncan and Jim, you're right, Ronnie Paterson. I don't know anybody who doesn't know Ronnie Paterson. Brent, you grew up in the same town as me. I watched you grow up. You were good friends with my nephews. The whole town's extremely proud of you. That Stanley Cup party you had at my mom's the last time you won it, she talked about that often, and you've been a great friend of the Toigo family, myself, and helping us out with the Giants this year as one of the coaches. It was a thrill for everybody, and your mentorship is much appreciated. Thank you, everybody.
Here before you guys leave, and get Rip's kids in here to as part of it as well, please.
Yeah, you can hand those down the line. What is it? I think you've got everybody. Should be a plaque for everybody, right? We get something. Pass that down to Ron.
Ronnie, this one is
Give one to everybody. Thank you.
I'll get out of the way so we get the photo op.
Thank you.
Where would you like us? Yeah, we probably can. Take a knee if you want, sure. Take my pants. Oh, I gotta get back up from there.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
07 Vancouver Giants. You know, one of the coolest things that's happened at our Hall of Fame induction, and those of you who have been here on a regular basis will back me up on this, is that we now have a yearly induction of a team in the province, most years, and everybody shows up. It's become a wonderful opportunity for teams to get together and have a reunion in a beautiful place, and it's so good to see so many of the Giants. That speaks to team, doesn't it? When everybody shows up and gets together again. So congratulations to the 07 Giants. All right, we're going to take a a very short intermission, and the reason we're doing that is just to have a short break. Still to come, Duncan Keith and Brent Seabrook will be inducted into the Hall of Fame, and Chad Brownlee is going to be back. But we want you to go up and check your bids at the silent auction. We are a not-for-profit, after all. And at the end of the night, if you have purchased something in the silent auction, you'll get a text to say that your bid was the winning bid, and you'll have an opportunity to pay with your credit card, so that will make things move along a lot smoother. So, short intermission to recharge glasses. Let's get back together very quickly, and we'll have the final two inductions of the evening. Oh, okay. We also have a 50-50 winner. If you've got a 50-50 ticket, here's the number. 057517. 057517. If that's your ticket, Pat Lawyer is right here, and he'll give you your envelope full of cash. 057517. Okay. Oh, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, come on back into the bowl. We're about to start the last part of our program tonight. I'd like to have you all back in here. As soon as Chad Brownlee starts to play, the silent auction is officially closed. And then you will have an opportunity, you'll get a text if you purchase something, and you'll have an opportunity to pay for it. And Chad's tuning up and getting set to go, so welcome back in, everyone. Still to come, the final two inductions, and we've got a fantastic lineup of live auction items tonight that you may have seen on the screens here, but there's some wonderful items that you'll get a chance to bid on in our live auction that's coming up in a few minutes. So we'll get going in 1 minute.
You gonna sing some background vocals for me?
Tried for a long time to learn the banjo.
Oh yeah?
It's such a hard instrument to play.
Yeah, you pick quite the instrument. A lot of finger picking and rolling.
Yeah, and 5-string too. I worked at it for a while, but it's like all those things, you know. If you don't work at it
Every day for a long time. 100%. I know so many people that started playing the guitar and then just stopped a month in. Fingers hurt. You kind of hit that wall. Unless you push through it, then it's kind of tough.
The calluses.
Exactly. I have no sensation in tips of my fingers. So.
How often did you play every day?
Almost. Yeah.
How many guitars have you got?
1, 2, 3. Not too many. I got like 6, 7. So I'm not, guitar player first. I'm a totally. Yeah, I'm a vocalist, poet. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the final part of our program tonight. Still to come, the induction of Duncan Keith and Brent Seabrook. A wonderful live auction will be in a few minutes, but let's get this last part of our night together started. Once again, please welcome back Chad Brownlee.
Thank you, Jim. Okay, I'm going to throw this to you guys. I was going to do a cover for the first of 2 songs here in case, there's no real Chad Brownlee fans that have no idea what my music sounds like. I was going to do a Kings of Leon or Tom Petty. Who wants, make some noise for Kings of Leon. Okay, how about Tom Petty? That sounds like I'm doing Tom Petty. I've actually been doing this song for over 10 years with my band. It's one of my favorite ones to play. So if you know it, sing it as loud as you can. This is Free Fallin'. She's a good girl, loves her mama, loves Jesus, in Canada too. She's a good girl, crazy about Elvis, loves horses, and a boyfriend too, yeah, yeah. It's a long road, living in Reseda. There's a freeway running through the yard. And I'm a bad boy, 'cause I don't even miss her. I'm a bad boy for breaking her heart. And I'm free. Walking through the valley, move west, down Ventura Boulevard, and all the bad boys standing in the shadows, and the good girls are home with broken hearts, and I'm free. Yeah, I'm free. Free falling. Gonna glide down over Mulholland, gonna write her name in the sky, gonna free fall out into nothing. Oh, I'm gonna leave this world for a while, and I'm free. Now it's your turn. Let's hear you. Don't be shy. Yeah. Well, here we go. Oh, nice, Luch. Thanks, buddy. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, let's take it home. Yeah, I'm free. Yeah, I'm free. Free falling. Yeah. Thanks to the 07 Vancouver Giants for helping me out on that one. And congrats to you guys. Congrats to Brent, Duncan, Lonnie, Ronnie, the whole Vancouver Giants team. Again, very, very special honor to be here tonight. So a round of applause for everybody inducted tonight to the BC Hockey Hall of Fame. And I've got one more song for you. This was my only #1 and platinum song, so I figured we'd finish with this one. It's called Forever's Gotta Start Somewhere. 8 a.m. on a downtown train, I would've walked up and asked your name. Midnight in a crowded room, I would've had to come talk to you. Anywhere, I don't care. Forever's gotta start somewhere. Dance floor of a dime bar, you would've walked by and stole my heart. Summer night at a county fair, I would've stopped in my tracks instead. Not have known right then and there. Forever's gotta start somewhere. This could be the first night of the rest of our lives. We started something right here. You'll call me crazy, but I think we'll make it. Forever's gotta start somewhere. Forever's gotta start somewhere. Girl, I know what you must think. Another guy trying to buy your drink. 2 for 1 on a Tuesday. How can a good thing start this way? Well, it could end up anywhere. Forever's gotta start somewhere. This could be the first night of the rest of our lives. We started something right here. You'll call me crazy, but I think we'll make it. Forever's gotta start somewhere. Forever's gotta start somewhere. Oh! Yeah, it's a long shot, but it's all that I got. Can't let you walk out of here. Sing it if you know it. This could be the first night of the rest of our lives. We started something right here. You call me crazy, but I think we'll make it. Forever's gotta start somewhere. This could be the first night of the rest of our lives. We started something right here. You call me crazy, but I think we'll make it. Forever's gotta start somewhere. Forever's gotta start somewhere. Forever's gotta start somewhere. Oh! Yeah, it's a long shot, but it's all that I got. Can't let you walk out of here. Thank you guys so much. I'm Chad Brownlee. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you so much. Back to you, Jim.
Hey, Chad. So good of you. Thank you, Chad. We got a little business items that we want to get at because we need to get more of your money, I guess, here in the next little while. Once again, I would like to thank these people on the board back here that are our sponsors of the evening tonight: Agavi Homes, Grizzly Construction, Betts Electric, Wildstone Construction, and others in the community who've engaged with us and done so much to make our little hall a very special place. What we'd like to do now, and we've had so many generous donors give us items for a live auction. We've whittled it down to, I think there are 5. By the way, did we get a winner for our 50-50? Okay, somebody won that. So we'll turn the lights up just so we can see you reach for your wallet. And I'd like to bring up our auctioneer, Tony Ackland, who's going to explain what we've got going on in terms of items. So bid big and bid fast, and then we'll finish the inductions right after that. Tony.
Jim, check. Thank you, Jim. All righty, well, I can more or less see. It's a little blinding with those lights, but that's okay. Welcome to the live auction portion of the evening. My name is Tony Ackland. I am an auctioneer. Thank you, guys. That's great. We're going to start off with a game. The first game we're going to play is called Heads or Tails. If you are the winner of Heads or Tails, and I'll give you the directions in a minute, the instructions, you're going to win a case of wine, a case of Summerland cider, and a case of 24 Molsons. There's a theme going on here. I can see it right now. So heads or tails, this is the way it's going to work. It's going to cost you $20 cash to pay. If you want to play, I need you to stand up and pull out $20 out of your wallet, and people are going to come around and collect the $20. I'm going to flip a coin. It's either going to be heads or tails. The way this works is I'm going to ask you to declare. So before I flip the coin, I'll ask you to declare. You're going to declare either heads or tails. I flip the coin. You're either in or out. It's either going to be a head or a tail. We keep going until there's one person standing. They get everything. So everybody take $20 out of your pocket and stand up. It's an exercise thing. Come on. We can do this. We can do this. You guys in the front row, stand up for God's sakes. Take $20 out. Now, I did notice all these young guys running around this evening, and I asked them if they're a hockey team. They're the sons of some of our inductees and relatives and friends and stuff. They're standing up, so Duncan, I hate to say this, but I think your son's standing up. Needs $20. All righty, as soon as we get everybody's $20 collected, I'll stop flipping a coin. Is everybody enjoying the evening? I think they've done a great job here tonight. I think he just said my dad's up there. I'm not sure. We can do this. How are we making out, guys? If you're going to stand up and be on your phone, it's going to cost you an extra $20. That's just a rule. Okay, are we good, Pat? Did anybody get missed? So, for everybody who stood up and paid $20, I need you to declare either head or tail. You declare now, and I'm going to flip a coin. No, one only. You can't do one of each. That doesn't work. Ready? It's a tail. So everybody who declared heads, sit down. Everybody who declared tails, stay standing. Are you ready? Declare heads or tails. Again, every time. Ready? Tails. All right, you know the rules. And hang on, I just got to check something. No, it's got a head on the other side. I just wanted to check that. Declare. It's a head. All righty. Just to prove. I don't know what the kids are going to do if they win all this wine, but I don't want to be anywhere near that episode. All righty. Declare. This is odd. Everybody has declared tails. There you go. It only takes one. It's a tail. But thank you for doing that. All right, everybody declare. It's a head. We got 2 left. There's 2 left. Declare. One of you has to go one way and one has to go the other. Okay, stop texting each other. Okay, hang on. It's too bad you didn't go heads. Congratulations. Not bad. A case of wine, a case of Summerland cider, and a case of 24 Molson. Which way do you live? I don't want to follow you home. That's just going to be nasty. Hopefully he doesn't have to consume all that before he gets home. All righty. Are you guys ready for the live auction? No? Are you ready for the live auction? Okay, we have 5 really top-notch items. They've been shown on the big screens throughout the course of the evening. This is going to be high bid takes it. Wave proudly. Yell at me if we missed your vote. We've got some other spotters. If I miss your bid, just holler at me. We'll catch up to you. The first item, Philadelphia Eagles and Flyers package. This is 2 tickets to the November 4th, 2023 Philadelphia Eagles versus the Dallas Cowboys game, and November 5th, 2023 Philadelphia Flyers versus the LA Kings. Dinner with 2-time Stanley Cup champions from British Columbia, Jim and Joe Watson. Yeah, that'll be cool. They'll tell you about their younger years in Smithers. All righty, are you ready to go? How about 10,000? 10,000, what about a 10, what about a 5,000? Go, what about a 5 and a 5, what about a 5? You know what? I promise I won't take their bids. I promise that. They're a little young for that. 5,000, what about a 5, what about a 5, what about a 2,500 and go, boys and girls? What about a 2,500? 2,500 a bid and 3, what about a 3,000? 25 and 3, what about a 3,000? 3,000, 2,500 a bid and 3,000. If you keep waving your arm like that, ma'am, you are going to be going to Philadelphia. Just so you know, congratulations, you're going to Philadelphia. 2,750, 2,500, 2,750, 2,500 a bid and 750, what about a 2,750, 2,500 a bid and 750, what about a 750, 2,500, 27 and a half, what about a 2,600 if that'll help you out, 2,500, what about a 26, what about a 26, 25, 26, what about a 2,600, 2,500 a bid and 26, 26 to bid in 27, 2600 to bid in 7, 27 to bid in 28, would have been a 28, 28 your way, Kyle, would have been a 28, 28 to bid in 29, would have been a 9, and 9, and 9, would have been a 9, would have been a 9 to bid in 3, would have been a 3,000. 3,000 to bid, 32.50. 3,000 bid in 2.5 would have been a 32.50. You're out, Doug. Would have been a 32.50 to bid in 35. 32.50 to bid in 35. 35 to bid in 37.5. 35 to bid in 7.5 would have been a 37.50. 35, Doug, you're out, would have been a 37.50. 35, 37.5 would have been a 37.50. 3,500 to bid in 37.5 would have been a 37.50. 3,500 to bid, 37.5 would have been a 3,600 if it makes you feel better. 36. 36, 3,500 to bid in 36 would have been a 36. 3,500 to bid in 3,600. All in, all done would have been a $3,600. Sold it your way, Patrick, $3,500. Alan Kerr from Gavi Homes. Yeah, right here. Thank you, Alan. All righty. We're going to do the 2 Canucks packages. The first one, I actually need Darcy Rhoda and Kurt McLean to come up and just stand here and make it worth more. If you guys could, please. Kurt McLean, Darcy Rhoda, come on up. It'll be fun. I'm not actually selling these 2 guys, but they make nice window dressing, I guess. I don't know how that works. Here they comes. They're stairs. It's not ice. He has problems on stairs. Once he's on the arena, though, he'll be okay. Oh, you can come up or you can stay down. Either way. So Darcy, born in Vancouver, Canucks in 80-81, 25 goals career high that year in the Canucks. And Kurt McLean. I thought you were going to grab the guitar and start singing a song. No, don't. We can't afford that. All right, the bearer of this is entitled to A Canucks Game Night Experience. A chef's tasting menu for 2 at the Blue Water Cafe. 2 seats in the press box. Not in any seat, up in the press box, which is the best seat in the house because you keep getting handed data sheets all throughout the game for a 2023-24 regular season Canucks home game. A Vancouver Canucks jersey from the player of your choice. A post-game meet and greet with a Vancouver Canucks player. It's not a bad prize. All right, boys and girls, how about a $5,000 bill? 5 would have been a 5. Jeez, like, you almost got me. Would have been. Sold right there. Where's your dad? Where's your dad? All right, 5,000 boys and girls. Would have been a 5 and a 5. Would have been a 5. Would have been a 5,000. Would have been a 2,000. Go. Would have been a 2,000. 2,000. 2,000 would have been a 2 and 2. Would have been a 2,000. Would have been $1,500 on our boys. Best seats in the house. The press box. 1,500 a bid and 2 would have been a 2,000. 1,500 a bid and 2 would have been a 2 would have been a 1,750 if that'll help somebody out. 1,500 a bid. 17.5 would have been a 1,750. 1,750 almost got you on that one. Would have been a 1,750. 1,500 a bid and 17.5 would have been a 1,750. Are you bidding or just waving it to somebody?
Matt, are you bidding up there, Matt?
Matt, are you bidding? Okay. Well, then put your damned arm down. Because this in auction business means I'm bidding. 1,500 a bid and 2 would have been 2,000. 1,750. 1,500 a bid and 17.5 would have been 1,750. 1,500 a bid and 17.5 would have been 1,750. 1,500 a bid, 1,750. 1,600 if that'll help somebody out. 16 would have been a 1,600. 15, 1,600 would have been a 16. 16 would have been a 1,600. 1,500 a bid and 16 would have been a 1,600. All in, all done would have been a $1,600. Oh, caught me between the SO and the LD. 1,600 and 17 would have been 17.
We'll both join for the dinner as well. So.
Oh, hey, this is going to ramp it right up there. Darcy and Kurt are going to join you for dinner. So you get to have dinner with them. Now I should really start again. But I'll take 16, 1700. 16, 1700 a bid, and 18, what about 1800? 18, what about 18, 17, 18, what about 18, 18, what about 18, 1700 a bid, and 18, what about 18, 1700, 18, what about 18, 1700 a bid, and 1800 a bid, now 19, what about 19, 19, what about 19, your man's out, what about 1900, 19, what about 19, 1800 a bid, and 19, what about 19, 18, 19, what about 19, 1800, this will give you arthritis all day long, do this. 1800 a bid, 19. 1800 a bid, 19. What about 19? 19. What about 19? 18. 19. What about 1900? 19. What about 19? 1800 a bid, 19. What about 19? Yep, 1900 a bid and 2. What about 2000? 1900 a bid and 2. What about 2000? What about 2000? 1900 a bid and 2. What about 2000? 19. What about 2 and 2? Do it one more time. What about 2000? Yeah, 21, what about a 1 and 1, 21, what about a 21? 2000 a bid and 21, what about a 1 and 1, what about a 21? What about a 2100? 2000 a bid, 2100, what about a $2,100? All in, all done, what about a 2100? 2100.
Come on, Luch, buy it. When you come into town, we'll go for dinner with you. Let's go.
21. 22, what about a 2 and 2, what about a 22, 22, what about a 2 and 2, what about a 2, what about 2200, what about a 2 and 2, what about a 22, 22, 22, 22, 22 and 23, we got 23, 20. You know what, I don't know how that happened that we went from 22 to 25, you're okay with that? I don't want him mad at me, I saw what he does. 2,500 a bid and 26. What about a 26? 2,500 a bid and 6. What about a 600? 25 a bid and 6. What about a 6 and 6? What about a 2,600? What about a 26? 2,500 a bid and 26. 2,500 a bid and 26. What about a 6 and 26? All in, all done. What about a 2,600? Sold it to you, $2,500. That was great. Thanks, Luch. Hang on, guys. Stay up here because we got to do this again.
Luch, you want to start at 2,500?
Okay. So this one is for a Canucks game. It's 4 seats in Club 500. 4 seats in Club 500. Just so you know, I looked it up today to see what club seats in Club 500 are worth. They don't list that price anywhere. 4 seats in Club 500 for a 23-24 Vancouver Canucks regular season game, including a $100 beverage package. A pregame tour of Rogers Arena with a member of the Canucks alumni, including a complimentary beverage in the Crossbar Lounge. Alrighty, where do you want to go with this one, boys and girls? Club 500. It's an elite club. How about 3,000? 3 and gold, what about a 3 and 3? What about a 3,000? 3 and gold, what about a 3 and 3? What about a 3,000? What about a 3,000? What about a 2,000 gold, what about 2,000? 2,000. I like these young guys. What about a 2,000? 1,500, boys and girls. What about a 15? 1,500. It's for 4 people. 1,500 a bid, 1,750. 15 a bid and 17.5. What about a 1,750? 15 a bid and 17.5. What about a 1,750? 1,500 a bid and 17.5. 15 a bid and 17.5. What about a 1,750? 15 to bid, 17.5. What about a 1,750 to bid and 2? What about a 2,000? 1,750 to bid and 2. What about a 2,000? 1,750 to bid and 2. What about a 2,000? 1,750, 2,000. What about a 2 and 2? What about a 2,002? What about a 2? What about a 1,750 to bid and 2? What about a 2,000? 18? Well, I'm like a graveyard. I'll take anything. I usually say that. That's great. $200 more. 1,800. 1,800 have been 19. 10, what about 19? 19, what about 19? 1,800 have been 19. What about 19? 1,800 have been 19. What about 19? 19 would have been 1,900. 1,900 have been. We got 19 and 2. What about 2,000? 1,900 have been 2. What about 2,000? 1,900 have been 2. What about 2,000? What's that? Okay. Kurt and Darcy are going to come by as well for dinner.
That's worth $100.
I got 2,000 to bid in 21. 2,000 to bid in 21 would have been a 1 in 21. 2,000 to bid in 1 would have been a 21 would have been a 21. 2,000 to bid in 21 would have been a 1 and 1 would have been a 21. As soon as I figured out who your dad is, you're in trouble. Would have been a 21. 21 would have been 21. 2,000 to bid. 21 would have been a 21. All in, all done would have been 2,100. Sold it to you $2,000. We're done. Thanks, guys.
On behalf of the Canucks and everything, thank you very much. And Patrick and all the inductees, congratulations. What a wonderful event. This is fantastic. We're really happy as a Canuck organization and alumni to be able to support this, and we appreciate your support for everybody that's here as well. So enjoy the rest of the evening, and thank you very much. It's awesome.
Thank you, sir. All righty. Next one, Oilers game day experience. Now, we need Duncan Keith and Bob Nicholson to come on down. Alumni of the Penticton Panthers and the Kelowna Rockets, a 3-time Stanley Cup champion, and in 2017 was voted one of the 100 greatest NHL players, Penticton's own Duncan Keith. And coming up with him, Bob Nicholson, who was president and CEO of Hockey Canada from 1994 to 2014, and he played in Penticton as well. So welcome to the Penticton boys. We're happy to have you home.
I'm going to take the mic here for a minute, Tony. Thanks, Tony. I want to bring one other person. First of all, I'd like to thank the Vancouver Canucks for the great support that they give the BC Hockey Hall of Fame. Every year you're here doing this, and it's in the province. Duncan's came to Edmonton for 1 year with us, and you know, we're both from Penticton. But Glennie Anderson, come on down here. BC Hockey Hall of Famer. Glennie came in to see Ronnie Paterson, they're best friends, and I thought he should be here today. And we're going to rev this up a little bit. I'm going to try to keep it short, so Tony, you don't have to do a lot of work.
Okay.
As Glenn comes down here, I've already got a bill. Bruce, how much are you in for? 3. Ronnie Torgo, how much are you in for? 3,500, eh, Ronnie? Okay, you're in. Danny Ashman, where's Danny Ashman? Danny's in, you're in for 4? Danny? 38. Okay, Ron, you're in for 35. We're going to add to this. Glenn Anderson's going to try to be at the game. We're going to, the Canucks, we play them on October 14th. Stan Smeal, where's Steamer? Maybe Steamer could get on the jet and come out here. We could have Glennie, as long as Colton's not playing. Yeah. We're going to have Duncan Keith there. We're going to have Steamer there. Tony, get her going.
All righty. So the highest bidder of this auction and will receive 2 guest passes for the press box. Once again, best seats in the house for an Edmonton Oilers game during the 23-24 regular season. There are certain games excluded. Includes dinner prior to the game. Are you guys joining them for dinner? Sure, they're joining you for dinner. In the Chairman's Club. A tour of Rogers Place and access to the Oilers post-game press conference. All righty. Well, I got to love it when this happens. I got 3,500 to bid and 37.5. 3,500, 37.5, a bit of 7.5. 3,500 bid and 7.5, a bit of 37.5. You will never, ever, 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 ever get the opportunity to have dinner with legends like these guys. I can guarantee it. 37.50. 3,500 a bid and 7.5, what about a 37.50? 3,500 a bid and 37.5. 3,500 a bid and 7.5, what about a 37.50? 3,600 if that'll help somebody out. 36, what about a 6 and 36? 3,500 a bid and 36, what about a 6 and 6? What about a 36? 3,500 a bid and 6, what about a 36? 3,500, 3,600. 3,500 a bid and 6, what about a 3,600? 3,500 a bid and 3,600. 3,600. God. Thanks, Connor. 36. And a Duncan Keith signed jersey, 37. 30. Jeez. Oh, okay, 3,600 a bid. Your son wants to bid 37. Are you really willing to cover that? 37, 3,600 a bid and 7, what about a 37? 3,600 a bid and 7, what about a 37? 3,600 a bid and 37, what about a 7 and 7, what about a 37? 3,600 a bid and 37, what about a 7 and 7, what about a 37? 3,600 a bid and 37, what about a 7, 7, what about a 37? All in, all done, what about a $3,700? I sold it to you, 3,600, thank you. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks. Thanks, Duncan. All righty. Well, that brings us to our final item. This next team is from Toronto. The Toronto Maple Leafs Hockey Club has generously donated overnight accommodation at the Delta Hotel in Toronto, 75 Lower Simcoe Street. 2 rooms, times 2 nights per room. 2 lower bowl tickets to a 2023-24 Maple Leafs regular game. Tickets have access to the Scotiabank Club restaurant, access to pre-game skate at Scotiabank Arena, pre-game dinner for 2 guests at either Hot Stove Club or Scotiabank Club, up to a maximum of $500 just for the dinner. That's just the dinner. So where do you want to go on this one, folks? For the Leafs. All right, how about a $3,000 and go? What about a 3 and 3? What about a 3,003? What about a 3? What about a 2,000? Go. What about a 2? What about a 2,002? What about a 2,002? What about $1,000 on our boys and girls? What about $1,000? 1,000. What about a 1? What about a 1,000? What about a 1? What about a 1,000? 1,000 a bid. 1,500. 1,000 a bid and 15. What about a 15 bid? Now it's 2,000. What about a 2 and 2? What about a 2,000? 2,000. 1,500 a bid and 2. What about a 2,000? 1,500 a bid. What about a 1,750 if that'll help you out? 1,500 a bid and 1,750. What about a 1,750 to bid in 2? What about a 2,000? 1,750 to bid in 2. What about a 2,000? 1,750, 2,000. What about a 2? 2. What about a 2? What about a 2,000? 2,000. Did you get 2,000? 2,000. What about a 2,000? 2250. 2,000 a bid. 2250. What about a 22 and a half? 2,000 a bid and 22 and a half. What about a 2250? 2,000 a bid. 22 and a half. What about a 2250? 2,000 a bid, 2,100 if that'll help somebody. 2,000 a bid and 1, what about a 21, what about a 1 and 1, what about a 1? Your man's still on, what about a $2,100? $500 just in the restaurant. No, I have your man on. Yep, he's at 2,000. Includes $500 in the restaurant, guys. Would have been 2,100. 21, what about a 1 and 1, what about a 1 and 1, 1, what about a 1, what about a 21, what about a 2,100, 21, what about a 1 and 21, all in, all done, what about a $2,100, sold it to him, $2,000. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the auction portion. We hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to turn things back to my friend Jim. We can turn the house lights down and go back to like we're on TV.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you for your patience. We have live auctions and silent auctions because that's how we raise money, to run a not-for-profit and run our BC Hockey Hall of Fame. That was a hell of a deal. But I guess it's all about Vancouver, British Columbia, and the Toronto Maple Leafs. There's... We should have a little sympathy now, though. Brad Treleving's running the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's a Western guy. He's a Penticton Bronco. so we can ease up on some of the Maple Leaf hatred. And now for something completely different. It is extraordinary that two National Hockey League defensemen play together as long as Keith and Seabrook. Or is it Seabrook and Keith? We could probably get into a debate with them. What's even more unique is that they're individually wonderfully qualified to be recognized as Hall of Famers, but that they're out of the game at the same time, from the same province, are great friends, and can go into our Hall of Fame as they came into the National Hockey League as partners. So we had to figure out how to do this. Had to set some parameters, and I wasn't sure how we were going to deal with this. So Dunk's a year older, drafted a year earlier, even if the round is later, Brent, and played more games. So we gave Dunk the opportunity to speak first or last, wondering what they might say about each other, and Dunk has chosen second. But for the introduction, alphabetically, Keith goes first. You know, I'm often asked a couple of questions about my career in broadcasting, and it's usually, what's the best team you ever saw? Or what's the best game you ever watched? The best team is really easy for me, and Dunk was a part of that. The Hawks may own 3 cups, but the 2014 Canadian Olympic team that won in Sochi is the best hockey team I've ever seen play the game. And Dunk was a part of that. They gave up 3 goals in the entire tournament, and one of them was a trick. Just another of the accomplishments in a great career for Duncan that really got its start here in Penticton. So to introduce our friend and Hall of Famer and our neighbor, Duncan Keith, we've called upon a longtime NHL player and Hawk broadcaster, Eddie Olczyk.
For Duncan Keith, induction, or should I say induction, into the BC Hockey Hall of Fame brings him full circle. Back to Penticton, where the dream of an NHL career took shape. Dunk came to Penticton as a teenager and played minor hockey, then earned a spot as a 16-year-old on the Penticton Panthers of the BC Junior League. Dunk spent the next 2 seasons piling up points and impressing scouts at Michigan State, and then on to the Kelowna Rockets, and then was eventually drafted by the Chicago Blackhawks in the 2nd round in the 2002 NHL entry draft. The early years were not easy. The Hawks were in the midst of a rebuild, and Dunk honed his skills in the American Hockey League with some other future friends and teammates. But by 2007, he and fellow inductee Siebes, my pal Brent Seabrook, were a pair, and the Blackhawks were well on their way. What followed was a historic run. The Blackhawks and Dunk, as an alternate captain, rose to the very top of the National Hockey League.
Keith shoots the save, rebound, Keith scores!
There were 3 Stanley Cups, 2010, 2013, and 2015. There were 2 Norris Trophies as the league's best defenseman in 2010 and 2014. In full disclosure, probably should have been a couple of more in there as well, but that's for another day. As well as the MVP of the playoffs, the Conn Smythe Trophy winner of the 2015 playoffs. Internationally, Dunk started representing Canada in 2008 at the World Championships, and then won 2 gold medals at the Olympics for Canada, 2010 in Vancouver and 2014 in Sochi. I know Dunk finished his career as an Edmonton Oiler, but he will always be one of the greatest Blackhawks of all time. And in my opinion, he is the greatest defenseman to ever wear the Blackhawks sweater.
Thank you, Eddie. Congratulations, Dunk. So in keeping with our theme of the past and the future tonight, I'd like to welcome Duncan to come up on the stage and to present his induction plaque into the BC Hockey Hall of Fame. Let's call up his buddy, his son, Colton Keith. So because these guys are such good pals, and because they played together, we're going to do this a little differently. We'll, as Colton and Dunk make their way up here, we'll also introduce Brent and his family so that we can have this wonderful pair of defensemen that spent so much time together, on stage together, and speak together. I think it's fitting. You know, I was just mentioning the other question that's always asked of me is like the best game you ever watched or you ever called. And I've had some game sevens, I've had some overtime games in the playoffs, I've had some Stanley Cup final games that have gone to 7. I've been to some Olympics and World Cups, but there's a game that comes to mind all the time as maybe the favorite one I ever had to sit in the broadcast booth and call. And it was in the Stanley Cup final. It was in Boston. It was game 4 of the 2013 Stanley Cup final. It was fantastic. It went end to end. There were lead changes. It was going all over the place. And Chicago ended up winning the game 6-5. Brent Seabrook scored the overtime winner, and the next 2 games went to Chicago. It turned the series. But the game was truly one of the most exciting games I've ever had the opportunity to watch live. So tonight, we welcome to the BC Hockey Hall of Fame Brent Seabrook, and to present Siebes, here's another voice from his past. You just heard a snippet of it. Hawk announcer, long-timer, Hall of Famer, Pat Foley.
Brent Seabrook's skate to the NHL and the British Columbia Hall of Fame began near his home in the South Delta Minor Hockey Association. He played on the Pacific Vipers. On that team were Colin Fraser, Andrew Ladd, and Troy Brouwer, teammates he'd win a Stanley Cup with just a few years later. He went to Lethbridge for 4 years, where the Chicago Blackhawks drafted him in the first round. Internationally, he was terrific with Team Canada. A World Junior gold medal in 2005, an Olympic gold medal in 2010. But professionally, he made his name in Chicago. He got paired with Duncan Keith for over 1,000 games, one of the best D pairs in NHL history. And they were part of a core that was the first dynasty of the salary cap era. 3 Stanley Cups in 6 years. Siebes did plenty of things that show up on stat sheets. Hits, block shots, and he was there when it mattered most, like a series-changing overtime goal. That was Game 4 of the 13 Cup final against Boston.
Here's Brent Seabrook, screen shot, scores! Brent Seabrook with the big blast, beat Tuukka Rask, and Chicago has tied the Stanley Cup final 2 games apiece.
There was plenty of talent and leadership on those Blackhawk teams, but Brent Seabrook was the heartbeat of that locker room. Like when his captain was out of sorts in a huge series against Detroit, taking 3 straight penalties. Siebes went to the penalty box to straighten things out. Look, we're going to win this game. Now get your head on straight and come with us. Or maybe words to that effect. The importance of Brent Seabrook to those championship teams cannot be overstated. The soul of the Blackhawks wore number 7. Please welcome one of the greatest Blackhawks of all time to the British Columbia Hall of Fame. Here is Brent Seabrook.
And to join Dunk and Colton on stage, I'd welcome the presenters of the plaque, and for the induction of Brent Seabrook into the British Columbia Hockey Hall of Fame, welcome Carter, Kenzie, and Dylan Seabrook. And, whoa! Yeah, good recovery. And thank all of you for staying up so late and enduring what all of us adults have done. Thank you, Brent. It is so cool to have you here tonight. And so now, Brent gets to go first because Dunk chose to go last. Here's Brent.
Just like always, Dunk making me do the dirty work. First off, I'd like to thank everyone for coming. It's pretty special to be up here, and it's a huge honor that the BC Hockey Hall of Fame has inducted me along with this amazing class. Congratulations to Lonnie, Ronnie, the 2007 Giants on an incredible season, and Duncan on some amazing careers and an incredible season. Growing up in Tsawwassen, playing minor hockey, I was very fortunate to have some great coaches and great people around me. Norm Shoemaker, Robin J. Rogers, Ken Melnick, just to name a few, really helped me get started in hockey. My trainer, Scott Hebert, was a huge influence in my life and helped me throughout my career. I was very lucky at a young age to have two ex-NHL players take over our spring team. Harold Sneps and John Grisdale coached us for about 5-6 years, and as defensemen had huge impacts on my career. They taught us how to play the game, to be a team, pushed us to compete, and to have fun. Qualities I took with me throughout my career, and even in my minor hockey coaching career now, I try and instill that in the kids that I coach. I'd like to thank the Lethbridge Hurricanes and the Chicago Blackhawks for allowing me to play the game I love. To all my teammates, trainers, and coaches, thank you for everything. The greatest coach I ever had was my dad. Sorry. I think I read this about 10 times today. It was easier in my hotel room. Thanks, buddy. The night before the draft, I went out with a couple of friends, and the Brandon Wheat Kings called. My mom answered, and they said, "We're going to take Brent if he's available." My mom responded, "Brent won't be going to Brandon," and hung up the phone. It's funny, but I never found that out. I found it out about 6 or 7 years later. She was always there for us to chat, help out in a new city, or to calm us down. She's the best. Keith, I couldn't ask for a better brother growing up. I love watching you play when I could. It's pretty impressive. You quit the only thing you knew at 25 to start a jewelry business, something you knew nothing about. You've done such a great job. People come up to me now and ask if you're Keith's brother. I'm very proud of you. Thanks, dudes. Dana told me I had to say something about her. I'd be sleeping on the couch for the next couple of weeks, so here we go. Dana was a bartender in Calgary, and I was a hockey player in town to play the Flames. If that's not a match made in heaven, then I don't know what is. You are the rock of our family, the voice of reason. You keep it all together for us. Basically a single mom with 3 kids. Most of the time, you allowed me to play and focus on hockey sleep in, have naps, just to name a few things. Thank you. I love you. I'm almost done, Kirk. To my kids, you challenge me every day. I love watching you grow as people, and I enjoy every minute that I'm able to be on the ice with you guys. I love you. Yes. When I got to Chicago, we were lucky enough to have some great veterans there to show us the way. Marty LaPointe, Todd Simpson, Adrian Aucoin, just to name a few. They taught us everything from how to treat trainers to being a good teammate, everything in between. Use your imagination. Since my first season in Chicago, I've been linked to this guy beside me. I've always loved being paired up with Duncan. I feel like our games really worked well together. We thought the same way. We wanted to win, we wanted to get out of our zone, we wanted to go play offense and have some fun. We were never afraid to give it to one another, but we also spent a lot of time talking about how to play certain players or lines. Dunk, congratulations on an amazing career. 2 Norris trophies, a Conn Smythe, now the BC Hall of Fame. You're welcome. Thank you very much.
The floor is yours, Duncan.
I'll try to be quick, but I can't guarantee anything. Come from a long line of bullshitters. I'd like to congratulate the 2007 champions of the Memorial Cup Vancouver Giants on their induction as well as Ron Paterson, Lonnie Cameron, and my good friend and trusty D partner, Brent Seabrook. Special thank you to Pat Lawyer for making sure I got here on time, checking in with me every couple weeks, make sure I didn't need anything. But it really is impressive what he's been able to put together here with the BC Hockey Hall of Fame. It really is a true honor and a privilege to be a part of this group and be inducted with such a great group with the Giants and Ron Paterson, Lonnie Cameron, and Brent. So I'm especially proud for this day. When my family first moved to Penticton, I was 14 years old. I remember turning the corner from the Coquihalla. I remember seeing how blue the water was here in Penticton. I couldn't believe how blue the water was. I came from Fort Francis. It's where I kind of spent my childhood learning the game of hockey on the outdoor rinks. And I just remember thinking, Dad, why would we? You're working in Summerland. What kind of place is Summerland? What kind of hockey is it here? And I remember him telling me that Brett Hull and Paul Correa, Brendan Morrison had come through here. So I gave it a little bit of a, okay, we'll see what happens here. It turned out to be a great decision and a great move for our family. I was especially lucky when I got here to Penticton to be coached by a guy named Rob McLaughlin, who brought structure, discipline, and passion to our team, and very importantly, introduced me to plyometrics. So that was basically, I became obsessed with plyometrics, and I started jumping a lot, try to get my quickness. I was never a big guy. So a big thank you to Rob. Very appreciative of that, to be able to come to a place like Penticton, play here, and have a coach like Rob guide me at such an important part of my career. And I really believe that was a big part of me being able to step in to play for the Penticton Panthers as a 16-year-old. You know, I was 130 pounds. I wasn't a big guy. I'm still not the biggest guy. Luch trying to kill me out there. I had to be quick. But I don't think he caught me too many times. But to be able to play here in Penticton, in my hometown, it was a dream come true, being able to watch the Panthers play and being able to, I had such a great group of players that took me under their wing, guys like TJ Kegg and Adam Reed, Adam Carter, Jason Wild, Trevor Obi. Those guys, it's really important when you're so young that you got a good group of older players, and I was so lucky at my first few years as junior to be able to have those guys that took care of me and looked after me, and so I think you know, I'm so grateful to be part of that Panther organization, and you see what it's turned into now with Graham Fraser and Fred Harbinson. You know, it's turned in. They changed the name Penticton V's, but they've turned it into one of the best organizations in all of Canada, and I'm especially proud to not only live here but be associated with the V's and the Panthers organization. It really is one of the best in the country, if not the best. I mean, their resume speaks for itself. So I came back from Michigan State after a year and a half, and it was a tough decision for myself to leave Michigan State. You're leaving a team voluntarily midway through the season, but it was one of the best decisions I ever did for my career was leaving school and going to play for the Kelowna Rockets, Bruce Hamilton's team for Kelowna. So I know there was a little bit of convincing there at the time. I think it was around Christmas. I don't know where Bruce is, but I'm especially grateful for the program that you put together in Kelowna, the friendships that I've been able to make and continue to keep in touch with to this day. It had a huge impact on my career. So thank you, Bruce Hamilton and the Rockets organization. When I think about my career and looking back, you know, there was a lot of great memories and memories, winning Stanley Cups and gold medals, and you learn as you go along. But you know, when I was drafted to the Hawks, I was 18 years old, and I ended up playing there when I was 22. I look back on my career, and the things that stick out the most to me are the amazing people that I've been able to meet over the course of my career, and the friendships that I make, and playing for the Hawks. You know, getting to play with so many great players: Jonathan Toews, Patrick Kane, Patrick Sharp, Marian Hossa. I mean, the list goes on. You know, obviously I'm up here with Brent, and he's the guy for me that, you know, I feel so grateful that I was able to play my entire career pretty much with Brent. And there's a reason for that. It's not just because he was my babysitter, highest paid babysitter in history of the game. Getting me to the rink on time, picking me up, getting me to the plane on time. I literally sat with him for over 1,000 games at the home arena and the away arena, side by side, and you know, I'm super proud to say that I played as long as I did with him. But the reason why that is because he made me a better player. Not just a better player, but he made me a better person on and off the ice. And for that, I'm forever grateful. So thank you, Brent. I know I wouldn't. Hockey's a team game, just like the Giants know. And I truly believe that I don't know if I would have had the career I would have had I not been saddled up next to Brent for all these years and having him as my partner. It was the perfect partner, a right shot defenseman, big, strong, moved the puck well, had a cannon of a shot. But I think it was our personalities too that had great chemistry. And I know most teammates, they kind of fight over ice time, and you want that internal competition amongst the teammates, and everybody, it makes everybody better, but you know, they're fighting over ice time, and I know you guys have been looking for a story, so I'll give you one. But there was actually one time where I had a teammate, and it was Brent, who didn't want me to get off the ice. We were playing in Los Angeles against the Kings. It was just a regular season game. At the time, we were at the top of our careers. I think our team was, you know, so confident. I don't know, we must have been winning. Maybe we weren't winning, but it doesn't matter. It was a close game. It was late in the period, in the second period, and they put us out there for a face-off in the offensive zone. We knew the reason why. It was their best players were out on the ice, and we wanted to get through the period, get to the intermission, and get a break. And they put us out there. It was about 45 seconds, a minute left in the period. And all of a sudden, face-offs, we win the face-off. We're playing in their end for about 20 seconds. And then Siebes takes off. He goes to the bench. And I'm thinking in my head, you know, my mind, what's he doing? You know, why is he coming off the ice? We're here to get through the period, get to the intermission, go into the intermission feeling good. And I was kind of pissed off because they came down on a rush. It's their best line. I think it was Kopitar and Brown, and they didn't score. The guy raced out, changed for Siebes. And it's just an example of my relationship with Brent. It was mostly love, but sometimes it was, you know, fighting and arguing, and I think that's what made us successful. He knew how to get under my skin. I knew how to get under his. He changed. We got through the period. I had to take the rush back with another player. Anyways, I skated back over to the bench after the period was the intermission. Everybody was filtering through the line and changing, going to the dressing room, and I skated over to the coach and I asked our D coach, I said, "Hey, Javi, did you want us to change there after 20 seconds? And Siebes stood up right away and got right in my face and said some swear words. He was super mad and wouldn't let me off the ice. Everybody's filtering off the ice. So I'm thinking like, oh, I really pissed him off this time. Like, I can't get off the ice. Anyways, it boiled over. But you know, if there was Instagram or TikTok now, they'd definitely have that all over the place. He wasn't letting me off the ice. I basically was skating around there. He stood there the whole time. The whole team had left the bench. He was mad. I was just giving him a little jab that, why'd you change, you know? But just an example of my relationship with Brent. It was always, you know, a little bit of give and take and jabbing each other. But it made it fun, too. It's a long season, so we made it fun. Anyways, I know I'm rambling on. I told you I came from a long line of bullshitters, so. It was a tough decision leaving Chicago. I remember that summer I was going through a tough time with that decision, but I look back to and the memories I was able to make in Edmonton, playing closer to home, closer to Colton, I'll take with me for the rest of my life. And for that, I'm grateful for Bob Nicholson and Ken Holland for making that deal happen. And, you know, the organization in Edmonton, it really is such a family atmosphere to bring the kids in. I remember being in Edmonton, winning games in regular season, late in the regular season, and Colton was literally in the room right after the game. And I remember thinking, I feel like I'm in Fort Francis on the outdoor rink, just hanging out with my buddies on the outdoor rink. So thank you to Bob, a sincere thank you to Bob Nicholson and Ken Holland for creating that atmosphere for us players, and for myself to be able to make those memories with my son and take with us for the rest of our life. You know, when I think of the relationships I've been able to create over the course of my career, the ones that are there have been there since day one as my family. So thank you, family, my mom and dad, my brother and my sister who isn't here today. She's in Michigan. I'd like to thank my brother for always being better than me up until about the age of 15. He always pushed me, my older brother, to be better. I always wanted to be like him and skate like him and play like him. And, you know, I don't know if he always realizes the impact he's had on my career. But it's been a big one. To my mom and dad, my mom, thank you for yelling at me when I'd fall down on those public skates, screaming at me to get up when I was laying down crying. My dad for always believing in me and giving me the dream of being an NHL player. Lastly, I'd like to thank my son, Colton. Come up here. Colton was born in 2013, and he's been a huge inspiration for me, especially in my last few years in Edmonton, being able to play. Later in my career, there was always the goal of winning a Stanley Cup in Edmonton, bringing it back to Canada, and being able to celebrate with him. It didn't happen, but we were able to create so many memories with him and his buddies and his cousins. So I just want to thank him for all the motivation and inspiration that he gave me in the last half of my career. Thank you, Colton. Love you, buddy. And that about does it. Yeah, if I could give any, I guess, advice as an older player now or retired player to some of these young soldiers that are in attendance watching, I guess, you know, when I look back, I always felt like it's important to have a vision and see yourself. If you can see that picture of who you want to be when you're older, later in life, whether it's a hockey player or a certain, you know, image of whoever that may be. For me, it was being a hockey player. If you can see that picture in your head and continue to see it and dream about it, and you can bring that feeling into what it would feel like to be that player or that person, you can make it happen if you're willing to put the work in, and more work than anybody else. You can do it too. So good luck to you young soldiers coming up through the ranks. All right? Thank you, guys.
Well done, guys. Want to stay together and get a picture here? Not just a D pair anymore. Keith and Seabrooks. Thank you, Brent. And it was cool to have so many kids in here tonight, and thank you for hanging with us. It was a little longer than we thought, but that's okay. It's a once-in-a-lifetime night for a lot of people. Congratulations to Duncan and Brent, to Lonnie, to Ronnie, to the 07 Giants. Thank you so much for taking the time to be part of this. I hope you've enjoyed seeing our Hockey Hall of Fame in Penticton. Please visit us again and make this third weekend of July a staple on your calendar because it's a beauty of a weekend. Thank you to our sponsors, but mostly, thank you. Have a great night. May there always be blue lions on your ice.